Hey Playas, how you doing? Welcome back to Playas Guide. On this episode of Playas Guide, I am going to be covering homebrew games that have been released in 2022, are coming out in 2022, and some different projects that are in the works that we can only hope are coming out down the road in the near future. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Playas Guide. I wanted to let you know that Playas Guide has a great community over on Discord, linked below that you can join. You can also catch Playas Guide on Twitch and find Playas Guide on Instagram and Twitter. But you came here to find out about brand new NES Homebrew games that you can play today or will be playing very soon. Hopefully. There are a few games that are out physically, and you can download demos for some of the games I'm going to talk about here today. So let's get right into it. The first game, Dungeons and Doomknights. So as of right now, I can't find the ROM anywhere of this game to download and play. You have to have either pre-ordered the game or now it is available for you to purchase online. But this game looks fantastic. Now, the developers of this game, I believe, have made some different mobile games and a few different indie projects that they've worked on. And as far as I know, this is their first NES game. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments below, because I'd love to find out about some of the other stuff they've done. Another awesome action platformer that is now out, was just released as of the filming of this video. So if you pre-ordered this game, you probably have your copy and are playing this game and enjoying it right now. That's Awlia's Awakening. Was made available previously on the PS4 and on the Nintendo Switch. Not too sure about the Xbox. I'm not an Xbox gamer myself. But again, leave a comment down below if it is available on that Xbox, and let myself and the other viewers of this channel know. But it is now available on the NES. Again, this one doesn't have the ROM available. There is a demo on itch.io that you can download. Amazing. This game looks fantastic. I am very excited to play this game. I know some of you guys already have, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. Very colorful action platformer of the fantasy genre. Again, not quite as medieval as the last game, but, somewhat, along those lines. The next game comes to us from Mega Cat Studios. Actually, I got two from Mega Cat Studios that we're expecting to see this year, hopefully this year, and I think they will deliver on that. The first one was a Kickstarter and a game that I've played the demo of, called Roniu's Tale. So this is one that we streamed on Playas Guide, the whole team, last year. We had the demo for it. The full game, I believe, will be available this year. So now we're treading into the territory of games that have been just released to games that are probably going to be released very soon, or in 2022. So this game is a puzzle game. I thoroughly enjoyed the demo, played all the way through it. And so if you like things like, they came out with a game called Medusa. And also, if you like games like Kickle Cubicle or Lolo, you're going to love this game. It is fantastic. Each level introduces a new mechanic. Really good game. Really well done, especially if you're into the puzzle genre. Now, there's another game coming out from Mega Cat Studios. This game's called The Meeting, and I'm excited for this one. It also looks to be a puzzle game. I haven't had a chance to play any of this game here, but I do have some footage that I was able to find of the trailer on YouTube for this game. So both these games, I believe, are complete or nearly complete. A game that is out and available to play is Action 53 Volume 4. You can download the ROM for this game, but there is no physical cartridge yet. And when there is, it'll be available on Infinite NES Lives, I'm pretty sure. And I'm excited for that. I have all the previous 3 volumes of the Action 53 games, and what this is made up of is a few mini games, some demos of games that were entered into the NES development competition. Now, this game is going to have a really big lineup of different games like Nimnom, Cowlitz, The Wolfing, and there's a whole bunch on there. Some of them I've covered on this show before on this channel. So it's if you're new to homebrews, this is a great introductory cartridge. If you're not and you love homebrews, there's a lot of really good games here that you're not going to want to miss out on. The next one, I'm praying and hoping that it comes out this year because I am such a big fan of their previous work, the Haunted Halloween games. I'm talking about Full Quiet. So, man, I've been waiting a long time for this game, and I've covered it on pretty much every episode of the upcoming NES Homebrews for each year, and it still hasn't come out, but I think that this year's the year. And this is a game that I just cannot wait to get my hands on because of how good a job Retrotainment did with the Haunted Halloween games. They are some of my favorite NES homebrews. Full Quiet looks to be something quite different, where there might be multiple forms of play, definitely like an exploration game with some interesting mechanics added into the game. That gets me excited because there's really not many NES games like that out there. But we'll see. We'll see what it's really about, hopefully, this year. You Are Air. So this is a homebrew, but it's not a game. So in the traditional sense of homebrew, maybe it doesn't fall in line. You Are Air is a music cartridge by a friend. His name is Sergio. You may know some of his music. It's fantastic. He kind of has this pop punky feel, and then he brings it into retro music. Now this cartridge actually plays music. This isn't chiptunes or 8-bit music. This is real music that it plays and has some full motion video on it. So the tech behind this is unbelievable. It's awesome. And it's going to blow some of you guys away. So I definitely wanted to mention this game because it is coming out this year. Space Soviets is going to be released this year from what I've heard by Second Dimension. This game looks really cool, but I don't know a ton about it. I know this is one by Vectrex. I've enjoyed many of his mini games and some of the work he's done with Second Dimension before. Second Dimension has really been kind of knocking it out of the park lately with some of their games. Orange Island. This is a game that was fully back 2 years ago on Kickstarter. A game that I really don't know a ton about other than what I've seen in the trailer. But it looks like it definitely has an in-depth plot and storyline that you're going to follow throughout your adventure on the Orange Island. Cerial Cafe. This is a game by Rigged Games. That's John Riggs' game because he loves cereal. And if you don't know who John Riggs is, he is a very well-known YouTuber. One of the biggest retro gaming YouTubers, in my opinion. And, you know, I don't know how he produces so much content. And then he's coming out with NES games. I'm really impressed by everything that this guy does and how involved he is with the retro gaming community. This is a fun arcade-style game where you're trying to serve up cereal in a cereal bar. I don't know if that's a real thing, but it's a cool idea if it isn't. And satisfying every customer, just like you want to satisfy all the customers in Tapper, by getting the cereal they want to them as fast as possible, racking up a high score. That is Cerial Cafe. Montezuma's Revenge. This is a port of a game that was released across a multitude of different consoles and has finally found its way onto the NES. It was released on just about every console back in that time except for the NES, and now it has gotten an official port to the NES. So this homebrew is now available and you could pick this one up. If you're not familiar with Montezuma's Revenge, here is some footage for you. Forcebot is an upcoming homebrew whereas you play a robot who pushes boxes around. Sound familiar? Well, it may remind you a little bit of the Incident or Boxel. It's similar gameplay to that. And it looks like it is a well-polished game, so one to be excited for if you are a fan of those other games I just mentioned. Temple of Dilemma is an upcoming NES Homebrew game that has you exploring temples and ruins and various obstacles within those that you have to work your way around and avoid to make it through each screen. Halcyon, I hope I'm saying that right. I've seen some screenshots and a bit of footage of this game. It looks really good. It's one of those Metroidvania. It reminds me more of Metroid, in my opinion. It's a game that has some of the homebrewers that brought you Project Blue are going to be involved with this. So Project Blue was a game that blew me out of the water. And this one looks, I gotta say, it looks even more polished than that game. It's like the next level up. So if you enjoyed Project Blue, I think you're going to enjoy this one, especially if you're into different Metroid games and sci-fi games, stuff like that. Former Dawn. Now this is an RPG that I'm being told is going to be NES compatible, and that means there's going to be an NES ROM of this game. I don't know what the story is about the game before, what other versions there are, but it is on my radar because there's an NES version of this game coming out. Again, this is another one that looks like it's very story driven and you're going to be interacting with different characters throughout the game. It's got excellent graphics. Now we're going to get into the games that might not come out this year. They might come out this year. I just don't want to miss them. And I want you guys to know about these projects that are in the works. Skeller Boy. This, like, the graphics of this game blow me away. I almost can't believe this is going to be on the NES, but apparently it is, according to the Kickstarter that is live right now. You can go back it if you want. It may have just ended depending on when you're watching this video, but this looks amazing, this homebrew. Definitely going to be watching out for this one. Not sure when it will be released, but it is an upcoming homebrew. So that is a game I caught wind of. Another game that was just funded a couple weeks back on Kickstarter was Copper Jacket. This is a really interesting NES game that I'm going to be looking out for. Keep an eye on, but I don't expect it'll be released by the end of the year. You never know. A lot of these probably won't. Courier. So if you've been following K-Han Games, you may have caught some of the different screenshots that I have here of the game Courier that is in the works. Now, we haven't seen much or any gameplay, just little snippets here or there, but it looks very well done. This is a point-and-click adventure. If you played Leisure Suit Larry, you weren't disappointed by K-Han, and I don't think I will be with this one either. It looks to be a cyberpunk point-and-click adventure with excellent graphics, and they've really kind of taken their time and polished this one. I'm excited for it. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out in 2022, but I'm excited and patient enough to wait to 2023 if that is the release date. Skate Cat. This game has a demo now available. I've played the demo. I streamed it on Twitch on the Retro Indie Show. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, but it was just the one stage, and you could tell that it's a demo. Obviously, I think there's going to be a little bit more added to it, polished up a little bit, but I'm excited to play more stages of this game. This game looks like it's going to be really good when it's finished, whenever that is. Mothorn. This is another NES homebrew. I don't know a lot about it, but it should be on Kickstarter soon, or maybe even right now when you're watching this video, if you're watching it new. If you're not, then, you know, something for you to be excited for down the future. If you're a big fan of NES homebrews or indie games, whatever it is in general, just like I am, consider tuning into the Retro Indie Show and subscribing to Playas Guide, because one small click from you really does make a big difference to this channel. And I'll be continuously updating you with new indie games, homebrews, and the retro gaming collecting scene. So, That's what you're going to get here on Playas Guide. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode, and I'll catch you on the flip side.